Hello and welcome to Quays News. I'm Daniela Chalice.
And I'm Harriet Wall. Today is a special International Women's Day edition of the programme. Here's what's coming up.
The government has appointed the first ever menopause employment champion.
An art exhibition has opened to raise awareness for a condition that affects 1 in 10 women.
In Manchester city centre, hundreds gather to join the International Walk for Women.
A proposal has been rejected for the menopause to become a protected characteristic. Similar to race and gender, the government has appointed its first ever menopause employment champion.
Seamus O'Hanlon reports whether menopause will be a key issue for the next general election.
I think there is the potential for this group of women to certainly be an important and key part of the electorate. We've often seen parties target men in election campaigns. So, for example, the Mondeo man, we've also seen the Workington man, and often midlife women are excluded from party campaigns.
You know, it's kind of shoehorning it into a particular area, which we don't think is satisfactory. Now, they're not even entertaining a review of it or to think about it. They just said point blank no. And it does deserve its own characteristic because every woman will go through it.
A number of workplaces are introducing menopause champions, and I think that really is in response to the fact that, again, a number of women, you know, don't like to admit to themselves that they are going through the menopause. It's a very uncomfortable topic for them. And if you have a male line manager or a female line manager who is younger than you, I can see that would be quite a difficult working relationship to start talking about very personal things.
I agree that it should be brought in, but it wouldn't make me vote for that party.
A lot of workplaces are run by men that don't really understand the repercussions of someone going through menopause, and it lasts years.
Changes that women go through menopause are very difficult, in some cases very extreme, which involves a full hysterectomy, i.e. myself.
Women historically have been more likely to vote Conservative than men, but this changed from 2017 onwards. And so this gap that we've seen has been predominantly driven by younger women, but by tapping into midlife women and older women, that key group of voters, there is a potential there for the Labour Party to further their success with women voters.
Lots of events are taking place around Manchester to mark International Women's Day. Nick Pinnington is in Cheetham Hill to see one of these events bringing the community together.
Thank you, Harriet. Yeah, this building behind me might not look like much at first, but there's all sorts going on here. Local businesses are here, we've got refreshments that are available, and there's even arts and crafts. Cameraman Tom Berrington actually had to go earlier. But the really important thing about this event is that it's bringing together a diverse community of women. I asked Councillor Shazia Butt whether the diversity of the community comes with its own challenges.
Absolutely it does, because let's say there's women there whose first language is not English, so that's a huge challenge in itself, and you know, we have to recognise this, and they do face difficulties, and you know, but now we're on a different level from probably, let's say, 20 years ago, where, you know, lots of women probably wouldn't come out to events like this in the community. I mean, I was born here, I grew up here. So, I mean, these sort of events like now are brilliant because it allows the women to come out and communicate and meet people.
A new beauty filter has gone viral on TikTok, being used by millions in just a few hours. But how much of an impact do these filters have on the mental health of women? Harriet Muckle is trying to find an answer.
TikTok has gone wild for the new bold glamour filter. With new technology, it won't budge, even if you swipe your hand across your face. But some TikTok users have been calling it out for being scarily realistic.
I don't think my brain knows how to deal with looking like this 1 minute, and then this the next.
You guys, this is the problem. Look. You can't even tell it's a filter anymore.
Really scary because we're trying to achieve this look. There you go.
reality.
Experts believe that filters like this could be damaging for women's mental health.
I think also once you put a filter on and you see yourself in a sort of more so-called beautiful way, and then the filter comes off and you go back to your normal face, there's that sense of, oh my God, I'm actually just, this is how I look, I'm just really plain, or, whatever the thoughts might be. I think, inevitably, I think that has to have a negative impact on the way that you see yourself.
Can we really ever look like a filter? The answer is no, but that doesn't stop us from trying. We're conditioned into believing the results are attainable. The rise of beautifying filters has brought the normalisation of facial tweakments.
I've been doing Botox and filler injections for like 12 years now, and there was hardly anyone having it, whereas I've seen a massive increase, especially over the last 5 years. Like, everyone's having it now. It's like a normal part of your beauty regime, like having your hair done. People go for it regularly. It's really popular. And I think a lot of girls come in and expecting to that they can look different, when it's not about making someone look different, it's about keeping them looking fresh and enhancing what they already have.
Has anyone ever come in with a picture of them with a filter on and said, Sam, please make me look like this?
Yeah, I mean, all the time people come saying I want to look fresh, and this is how I looked on this wedding and this birthday party, and I can see that it's clearly a filter, and that's just not real part of life.
You may not know it, but March is Endometriosis Awareness Month. Brendan Cox has been to a gallery in Manchester where a new art show has been created to bring light to this condition.
I'm at Gallery Oldham, where the free endomorphosis exhibit is on display until March the 25th. But before we take a look inside, just what is endometriosis? It's a long-term condition that affects women. It's where bodily tissues similar to the lining of the womb grow in places they really shouldn't, like the ovaries and the fallopian tubes. This can lead to debilitating lower back and pelvic pain, diarrhea, nausea, constipation. It can also lead to more serious issues such as depression, social isolation, and infertility. There's no cure, but it's treatable, and it's more common than you'd think. Endometriosis affects 190 million people around the world. It also affects every 1 in 10 women. But most importantly, in the UK, it takes on average 7.5 years to get a diagnosis. Here's what a wait that long can mean to some sufferers of endometriosis.
That's 7 years of pain, confusion, uncertainty, and invalidation of symptoms.
That is 7.5 years of regular, debilitating pelvic pain.
That's 7.5 years of being rushed to A&E with pain and being sent home with only paracetamol.
Cabasa Carnival Arts got 10 strangers with endometriosis for an art project in Manchester. The women took off their clothes and had their bodies painted. One of them was Hannah Bingham. She didn't know the others, but together they found a sense of community and connection.
Getting to meet other people going through the same as me, it was the first time I'd been in a room with that many people who all knew what I'd gone through. If you don't have it, or you don't know someone with it, you don't know it exists. Which is why, again, probably why it takes a while for people to actually realise that they might have it.
Hannah's had her surgery, which has vastly improved her life. She now wants to help others so that they can begin to live again too.
What an awful condition, but such an interesting exhibition. A roundup of today's news stories now, and it's snowing. Eleanor.
Certainly is. In the Highlands today, last night it reached a temperature of minus 15.4 degrees. This is the coldest
Gallery Oldham
temperature recorded in March, and there have been 3 yellow warnings issued throughout the UK. Now, Match of the Day host Gary Lineker has been criticised for a series of tweets he made regarding the illegal migration bill. He compared the language used in the bill to that used by Germany in the 30s, and a BBC spokesperson has said he will be reminded of his responsibilities on social media. And finally, the Prime Minister today, to mark International Women's Day, announced a new strategy for international women and girls. This aims to educate and empower women, as well as end gender-based violence. Most of this £38 million programme will be delivered through a new partnership with the Equity Fund.
The International Walk for Women once again came to Manchester this weekend. The theme of the event this year was equity. Unlike equality, which means giving the same opportunities to everyone, equity means giving a little extra support to those who need it more than others. I went down to St. Peter's Square to get involved. In the beating heart of Manchester, there's a different tune to the usual Saturday afternoon. The International Walk for Women is drumming up support. A celebration, an opportunity for women from all walks of life to speak out about issues that matter most to them.
I think until every woman can walk the streets without the fear of being attacked, free of harassment, I think until then, we've still got quite a long way to go.
The inclusivity of the event is highlighted as flags from the WI, Make Votes Matter and Manchester Schools fly high.
Especially the last couple of years, we've had such a torrid time. During COVID, I explained in my speech domestic violence and the cost of living crisis as well, which is happening at the moment. And I think for other people to see this, can only get bigger. This will get bigger.
A demonstration with no universal agreement on priorities, but that makes its presence known, bringing colour to the greyest skies. Walkies for some, but a significant pause for thought for others.
So how was the walk, Harriet?
It was really interesting and it was great fun to see the ceremonial mayor getting involved. From women breaking into STEM to women breaking into the water, another woman going the extra length is Patsy Valentine. Here's Johnny Bentley with more.
A 100-length challenge for £1,000. That's what a 51-year-old is trying to get for her mother's care home as they look to buy a minibus with the raised funds. The minibus will cost £6,000.
I've never swum 100 lengths, but I have started doing 50, 60 lengths every time I go, depending on how I'm feeling on the day, how tired I am, so my training's going well. I believe either local government, council should fund the minibus for the home. They lost enough in the takeover. It's a minivan. My mum loves to go to the community centre and, have a bit of tea and cake and just socialise with other people. And I think that's so important, especially after what happened after COVID.
So you were talking about your mum and the difficulties of the care sector. What do you think can happen with the care sector and what do you think will happen in the upcoming months and years to come?
So in the future, I would look like and hope a lot more concentration will be put into the care home sector and definitely a look at a pay increase for the hard-working staff in care homes that are currently underpaid.
It's really going to make a difference, the money that she raises for our minibus fund, because it's really important to be able to take the residents out. At the end of the day, we have a fantastic group of families here and staff that, are willing to put the work in to be able to do the sponsors.
It'd be amazing because we'd be so near to the point of getting the minivan for the home. It'd be great just to see the residents getting out and about and know that I've been part of that and had a privilege to be part of it.
Harriet, what comes to mind when I say the words cab 1440?
I don't really know, maybe something about a taxi?
Think more SSX tricky, but in real life. And this weekend, snowboarding champion Mia Brooks became the first woman to land it. Our reporter Arthur Berry went down to where she first trained to see how they are encouraging the next generation to follow in her tracks.
Mia Brooks, is this the cab 12? She's going to wind up for it. I think it is. Oh my goodness!
The 16-year-old Cheshire-born wonder Mia Brooks took the world by storm last week, winning gold in the Free Ski World Championships, landing the famous Cab 1440, a trick that involves 4 full rotations in the air. This remarkable performance made her the first woman to land the difficult trick in official competition and the UK's first snowboard slopestyle champion. And just a few minutes down the road from where she was born, volunteers at a ski centre where the new world champion started out are jumping for joy.
I was watching it live and I nearly cried. I was so excited for her. Yeah. She's a really good ambassador for the sport as well. So thrilled.
It's tremendous, for snow sports in England. It's and for a girl as well, a young woman, young adult. I think it's just incredible.
The The people involved in Kids Grove Ski Centre are volunteering every week to inspire the new generation of Mia Brooks. But unlike other centres across the country, this club are solely made up of volunteers to keep prices low and bring more people in.
I feel very passionate about about sports, making them affordable and accessible for children. It's equality and diversity, and we need to meet the needs of our young people. A lot of these clubs are too expensive. There's an exclusivity about it, and it's really unfair. So I think we should enable our children to have the same opportunities.
With the Winter Olympics around the corner, volunteer-run organisations like this could play a vital role for the new generation of female athletes.
I don't know about you, but that looks really fun. Have you ever tried snowboarding?
Not snowboarding, no, but I have skied and I love it so much. It's so fun.
Well, I'd love to give it a go, and now I know how to get involved. However, I'm a little bit worried because I'm quite accident prone.
Don't want any broken arms or legs. That's all from us. See you next week on Quays News.
And be sure to follow us on Twitter to keep up to date. It's @Quays News. Bye for now. Thank you.